So I'm just gonna say it, fuck Sony. Sony is a bad company, it's an evil company, and you shouldn't support Sony, to be honest. Now, obviously you have to buy some products somewhere here and there from Sony, and that's okay, but overall you shouldn't support them if you can avoid it. And I'm not saying that because I just dislike Sony and I'm a Microsoft fan or anything. No, not really, because they're also evil. Every company is pretty much evil at this point. So, but Sony really is really evil. Like, when I say this, I mean it, because Sony already makes a console and then makes cool exclusive games for console and then cry, why is no one buying our exclusive game? Well, because maybe people don't want to buy a console in the year of 2024, or because they don't want to have, exclusives anymore. I think it's a thing of the past. That's a different story though. Let's focus on why Sony again has shown everyone that they're an actual evil company and just don't give a fuck about you as the consumer. They actually don't. And we're gonna have to talk about Helldivers, a game you might have heard of, a pretty popular game. It has sold a lot of copies by now and has a concurrent player base of around 100,000 to 150,000 players right now for over a few months already. It is really one of the most selling games of the year already right now. The thing is, until now, there was no problem. But then a few days ago, they had to release a statement, and we're going to read that statement, of course, which says Helldivers 2 account linking update. Now it says, account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players, blah, blah. Of course, we all know that's bullshit. Like, it's all just to get our information and everything. You know how it is. They're just saying this shit now. The problem is here, as such, as of May 6, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see a mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. Now, this means that you, if you're playing Helldivers right now, or if you're going to play Helldivers at some point, you will have to have a PlayStation Network account, even though you play on Steam. Where does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me at all. Now, it's just ridiculous. It's not the first time that you have to make additional accounts to play a video game, which is also not necessarily the issue here, but there's a lot of other issues with this, which we're going to talk about later. But all I can tell you, a lot of people didn't like this. A lot of people didn't like this. Now, I feel mixed about it. I have a PlayStation Network account. I can link it. I have no problem with it. But it's not about me. It's not about you necessarily who can do this too. It's about those who can't, which is something we'll talk about later. Now, how much did the community like this? Well, let's say the reviews went from super positive to mixed and mostly negative as of recent. People have been review bombing the game to show that they're unhappy with this, obviously. Discontent. That's the word I was looking for. They're extremely unhappy with this decision, which I think is very understandable, to be honest. It is a very bad decision, and, well, here's the result of your bad decisions. Now, there's one thing that is really important, is that your anger, or everyone's anger at this point, shouldn't be towards Arrowhead, which is the developer of the game. Arrowhead has not taken this decision, as it was stated here by one of them. First of all, it is Sony's decision, not ours. This shows again that publishers don't give a fuck, and in this case it is Sony. Now there's a lot of evil companies, but Sony, really evil company. They don't give a shit. They don't care about Arrowhead. They want their data. They want your data, of course. And this is why I am asking everyone also, you need to be angry towards Sony, not Arrowhead. Now, review bombing the game obviously is something that will hurt Arrowhead in the long run, kinda, but it is necessary to actually get Sony to maybe listen for once, because this is an awful decision. Now, Arrowhead themselves actually reacted at first a little bit bad towards this whole thing. The community manager got some flack for how he reacted, saying, oh, you just have to make an account, where's the problem? But here's, for example, also more of a reaction of the CEO that was really, actually in my opinion, pretty good, where he said ouch right in the review score, well, I guess it's warranted. And I think that is actually premature and something you like to see from a CEO who can understand why people aren't happy. Now, let's talk about the issues of the PlayStation Network. It's not only that having a PlayStation account while you don't own a PlayStation is ridiculous, but as you can see here, PlayStation Network and PlayStation Store are not available in Vietnam. And that's one of the 69, I think it is, also nice, countries where the PlayStation Network is not available. That means if you are from a country and you bought Helldivers 2 on Steam and you play now for a few months, you now cannot play anymore because you simply put cannot make a PlayStation Network account. Now, besides the fact that they don't allow certain countries to make accounts, which is also already ridiculous, they are just going to basically not allow people to play the game that paid for it and maybe also bought in-game goodies with additional money. Obviously, I hope those people can get refunds if this is actually going to happen. But that's only one of the many problems with the PlayStation Network. Now, PlayStation also decided to change some wording. And we've seen that in some recent drama about Tarkov, I believe it was. And basically, it used to say, do I have to sign into PSN to play a PlayStation game on PC? Signing into PSN is optional when playing a PlayStation game on PC. This was the wording. As you can see here, it says Friday, May 3rd on this screenshot. And then it was changed to some PlayStation games may require you to sign in. You sign in and link to an account for PSN. Obviously, they're bullshitting. I think changing these kind of things on websites is really, really bad and is really fishy. And again, Sony is a trash company. You might like the PS5, doesn't change they're a trash company. Now again, setting up a PSN isn't that easy. Some countries require an actual face scan or your ID to determine your ID. They want to have it's a fucking PlayStation Network account and they want your fucking ID for it. What? I'm gonna be honest, I'm sorry for swearing so much, but what the actual fuck, man? Who needs your ID for a PlayStation Network account? Are you fucking serious? And that's what makes everyone so angry. It's not as simple as setting up an account and you go play again. No, it's much more problematic. But there is some hope at the end of the tunnel, as I've read some updates from 3 hours ago, where the community manager, who got a lot of shit for how he reacted initially to this situation, is now saying things like, eternal discussions are ongoing about the mandatory linking change, and while I can't reveal details, the response from our dev team has been pretty universally negative and we're looking for better options. If a better solution is provided for players who are in regions without PSN coverage, I'm assured that we won't be making the requirement mandatory for those players. We're not going to force people to either break Sony TOS or not play the game, which is good news, of course. That change, the Steam announcement, and the FAQ are all coming from Sony and not our team Arrowhead, right? So again, this is Sony doing all of this and not Arrowhead. And this is his response to the criticism he got for his initial response. But basically, there seems to be some hope. Again, Sony is a trash company, not only because of what they did here, but in general because of how they make bad stuff also, kinda. I'm sorry, but I have a PlayStation 5. I have no controller right now because I have to send it in because it broke after 3 months of using it. Not really broke, but it was already not working properly anymore, and that's just not high quality. Not trying to defend any other company here, but damn, I hate Sony a lot. I really wanted to play Stellar Blade, but man, I want to play on my PC. I don't want to play on a console when I have a PC that just can pump much more power overall, and I don't know, it's a rabbit hole by itself, but I hate Sony, and honestly, you should too. I'm not gonna lie, you should also hate Sony, not because of only Helldivers, but because of many things that they've done. Anyway, that's the drama of the current situation. I hope I was able to update you. Let me know what you think about this move from Sony and how you just feel about Sony as a company, maybe, because, well, I made it very clear how I feel about it. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.